So it says Jeremy has a questionable business background and has previously attempted to make large gifts to other institutions that fell through. Questions over his ability to fulfill the gift have also gone unanswered, and FAMU is not dealing with the possibility that the money won't materialize as promised. It didn't materialize because the shares are in a private company. The school cannot easily convert them to cash, and Jeremy's permission would be required for FAMU to sell. University has
Jeremy is
the guy who made the
donation.
University also hasn't received an independent valuation on the true worth of the stocks that was supposed to be worth anywhere from $0 to $300 million. So that was the initial failure on the staff. They didn't receive an independent evaluation.
And so
of
they
the stocks.
like playing this back, the president and the administration probably were aware of these issues, and that's why they didn't want to disclose anything and keep it quiet until they figured out what was actually what.
FAMU's president, Larry Robinson, has resigned as leader of the state's only public, historically black college, university, after a decision that comes amid a failed $237 million donation. All right. That one key official labeled as an embarrassment. Right. So basically there was this guy who came in and it was at the graduation. All right. At he was the keynote speaker at the graduation. Right.
Okay.
And he came up, and at the end of his speech, he was like, "Oh yeah, and the money's already in the bank." So basically, it was they were trying to keep it a secret at the time. All right, Robinson and his staff. All right, after further reading into it more.
Right.
All right. And this guy here who made the donation, the problem came in when at the end of his speech, he basically like let the cat out the bag.
Okay.
$237 million. I'm donating to FAMU. And it turned out to be somewhat of a scam. It just wasn't
somewhat.
Well, so here, I mean, when I'm listening to this show, like, who is this guy, and what's his background?
So he's a business.
Nobody knows.
He's in business. That's what.
He's in business.
Yeah, he's in business. So
oh God.
Let me see. They had his name and everything here. And it was another college that he did this exact same thing too. All right.
I remember we talked about that, but I guess so it's not clear. Like, hey, this guy allegedly made a fortune in whatever industry. Like, that's unknown.
Yeah, he's a Texas hemp farmer.
Allegedly.
A hemp farmer.
Yeah, and
allegedly.
he attempted to make large gifts to other institutions that fell through.
But what? Okay, so what's the scam though? Like, did he deliver any funds? Just not what he promised.
No funds.
Zero funds.
He brought what was it? Stocks?
Yeah.
Wait, no.
Stocks.
In the form of shares. In his private company.
So he donated shares in his private company
that supposedly would have equaled to $237 million.
He did convey something, but.
Worthless stakes in your make-believe company.
No, I was just curious about the mechanics of what was delivered or not delivered. Okay.
So
you know what was delivered? One of them big paper checks that look good. That is all he delivered.
No. It is significant. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it's significant that he tried to convey these shares.
So it says,
again, if it's his own company,
it's his own company.
That's also kind of interesting.
So it says Jeremy has a questionable business background and has previously attempted to make large gifts to other institutions that fell through. Questions over his ability to fulfill the gift have also gone unanswered, and FAMU is not dealing with the possibility that the money won't materialize as promised. It didn't materialize because the shares are in a private company. The school cannot easily convert them to cash, and Jeremy's permission would be required for FAMU to sell. University has
Jeremy is
the guy who made the
donation.
University also hasn't received an independent valuation on the true worth of the stocks that was supposed to be worth anywhere from $0 to $300 million. So that was the initial failure on the staff. They didn't receive an independent evaluation.
And so
of the stocks.
they like playing this back, the president and the administration probably were aware of these issues, and that's why they didn't want to disclose anything and keep it quiet until they figured out what was actually what. Maybe there is some donation in this, maybe there's nothing, and then they could announce it in their own terms of whatever they want.
Yes.
But he steals the show by dropping this.
No,
So why-
no.
Yeah,
Time out.
okay.
No,
Well,
time
go
out.
ahead, go ahead.
Time out. Because you don't want to do the due diligence. You don't want it to get out. You don't want to announce it. But you have this same gentleman come do the commencement.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't know why. they did that.
well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know why.
that goes to another mistake then. So yeah,
That's
no,
silly.
No, I get you. No, I'm with you.
That's silly.
I'm just trying to build, like,
Yeah.
okay, what's transpired, and again, yeah, that's the thing too. Why would you even give this guy the opportunity to have that platform
Yeah.
at that moment with his donation?
Because
not
you were
secure?
thirsty.
yeah.
Yeah.
You were thirsty. You were excited.
Yeah.
This would have been the biggest donation to a HBCU in
history.
history.
Yeah.
Y'all want to show up Spelman, who has the current record for the biggest donation in history. Was that like, I think that's like 100
100
mil? Yeah. So y'all were, again, thirsty to not even, like, getting the money is one thing, but you're more excited for the clout. That's the difference between an actual administration. Like you can't do this at Duke. Ain't no, they're talking about the president signed it. The president's talking about they signed an NDA with the dude. You're at a public institution.
That's what they said they did
The president signed an NDA.
prior to the speech. Wait, who the NDA was? Who was bound by the NDA?
The president and his staff and this mystery dude whose name we can't even
So he
find.
violates the NDA in his speech.
There is no NDA. It's a public school.
I thought you just said there was an NDA.
They signed an NDA, but you cannot legally sign
If
an
it wasn't
NDA as
enforceable.
So
the
they're not legally
as
bound.
the
Yeah.
as the administration of a public institution. What do you mean you signed an NDA? That's not like
Yeah. It was just missteps. Just crazy amount of missteps along the way.
these aren't even missteps. This is malpractice.
Well, that's why he's resigning. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You resigned, but you still work at the school.
Does he?
He was a
He's,
professor.
I was about to say
He's
he's
a professor.
He's going to take a year off and then come back as a professor. That was his original job.
What's the harm in that then?
Probably no
The
harm.
harm-
It's a lot of shame he came
For sure.
he shed against the university.
Well, but it's also fascinating that he would want to come back there because there is the shame.
Yeah, I
attached to
know,
that.
right?
He could go teach at another school and be a professor somewhere else
Yeah.
quietly out of harm's way. I mean,
Yeah.
but see, he's choosing to come back there where
Systematic lack of
embarrassed
accountability.
It was, yeah.
Systematic lack of accountability is something that we don't like to admit, but is a feature of HBCU.
She said, "Dang, Jay, I thought you were pro FAMU."
I am absolutely pro-family. I'm not pro-cult, and that's my beef with people. Like, why does me being a part of your group, being a fan of your institution, mean I have to pretend like this is not bullshit that y'all just did in front of us?
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
You are tasked with preparing the next generation for the real world.
Yeah.
This don't work in the real world. This don't work nowhere else. There's no public institute. There's no public school you can work at and be like, oh, well, we were trying to keep the check a secret. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
The
man.
board of
It's nuts.
directors had a meeting about this because it's embarrassing. Just egg on the face.
I guess what the one thing I'm kind of
I'm not done yet. Let me land. Let me land. The board of directors had a meeting, probably, and you can go and watch. It's public, because again, it's a public school. So they had a meeting and they voted not to do an audit.
Of what? An audit of what?
An audit of everything. Because if you, as the president, are trying to
Oh,
take
are doing
$1 million
this.
checks
What else
under the
could
table,
you have done?
what else the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Oh,
Under you've been there for damn near 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, they voted no. They voted it down. We're not going
That's,
to do
that's
an audit.
probably is the best thing to do.
Nobody wants to be audited.
Yeah, probably is
For
the best
anything.
thing to do. Yeah.
Nobody wants to be
anyhow.
exposed. Nobody wants to be exposed for
For
looking-
anything.
Like you
Nobody wants to be
could
audited for
have you
anything.
could have sat on the toilet and did your Googles and found out that there was no $2 million check coming from this.
I'm doing more than
How did
Googles
the
on the toilet, my
how
friend.
did the staff not how did your entire administration, and FAMU is very renowned for being very careful with their brand.
Yeah.
So like students, they'll put students on blast. They
No,
hold
this is
they hold-
this is a horrific, error. No doubt about it. I mean, this guy had a questionable background already. Why are you even fucking with him? Like, yeah, there's no,
I guess
there's no explanation or justification for what transpired. This is an all systems failure.
lack of accountability.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna stay at the same school, because I'm gonna just resign. I can fall back, and we just keep this in house. Like it'd be a lot of bullshit that gets kept in house that doesn't get cleaned up because it's in house.
Yeah.
And then when people start pointing it out as, oh, I thought you were a fan. Oh, why are you speaking on our HBCU? Like, no, this is not. Willie Simmons is a serious person. So that's why he has to go away from stuff like this. You feel me?
Well, it doesn't help my case. But, I mean,
it's not about helping your case, bro. If you have a shitty case, it's shitty. Damn.
We'll end the show on that, man.
All right.
And catch you guys next week on the bench. Appreciate you, Jay.
But this all came to